Welcome back. Food halls are one of the biggest fast casual dining trends of the last decade, and they're showing no signs of slowing down. Well, not only have they become an economic solution for restaurants and chefs grappling with rising operational costs and fatal blows of the pandemic, but they also tap into an increasing interest in gourmet, locally sourced food. South Africa is set to have its first dedicated food hall launch in the country's foodie capital, Cape Town. Well, Chef's Food Hall will offer a range of cuisines under one roof and will be positioned in the city's busy Cavendish Square. Campbell Stevenson, the managing director and co-founder of Chef's Food Hall, joins us now to share more. Campbell, a very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning. Thanks very much for having me.
Now, Campbell, why do you think there's been a shift in the traditional restaurant operating model?
Well, if you look at it, there's been three major factors that have happened over the last number of years.
Yep.
Obviously, COVID dealt a huge blow to the industry and fundamental changes were already underway. Rising input costs, changing consumer habits have been driving margins lower. And so that all of these things have been tested in the restaurant industry. And then the single biggest disruptor around the whole industry has been delivery,
Yes.
which has made a lot of restaurants have to jump into the game, even though the costs are high in it, and they need to stay relevant and afloat. So, all of those three factors are driving a change.
And how have consumer habits changed, and what does it mean for the industry?
Well, consumers are obviously becoming far more experiential. They've been drawn towards social settings where there's less, there's more interest in food, there's more varied food, there's more variety. So you've seen the millennials and Gen Zs in a recent report by the Food Laboratory saying that over 55% of them prefer a communal table. And not only do people want a more communal setting, they tend to order 55% of meals differently. So you've seen this happen with the delivery model. For example, when I go out with my children, we're sitting in an Italian restaurant and my youngest child says, "Can he have sushi? Is that on the menu?" Well, obviously it's not on the menu. We're sitting in an Italian restaurant. But what's happened is the third-party deliveries have created this virtual world of tapping into any kitchen and cuisine. So, the real world now has to really follow the virtual world. So, we've seen that as this market style eating is definitely a big trend for the future.
Campbell, food halls have taken root globally. How do you see this trend taking shape locally?
Well, in Time Out launched this at the historic Mercado de Ribeira building in 2014. And what they did is they put a number of restaurants and chefs from Lisbon into the space to create like a more cultural event. So within a year, there were 2 million visitors, and now it's the biggest tourist attraction in Lisbon. So, there's also been Italy, which started in 2010. They have a slightly different approach where they don't bring in multi-vendors and other restaurants and kitchens.
Right.
What they do is they curate the whole space themselves, which is a similar model to what we're doing, and so that they can control the overall customer experience, they can leverage the supply chain, and they can validate their product. But so in South Africa, we are looking to launch Chefs, as South Africa's first major food hall in actually Africa, and our model is more that we will be the sole operator and curate the whole experience. But at the core of it is we're really just trying to create a better customer experience at an affordable price, and to invite communities from the area and tourists alike to come and enjoy our amazing cuisine and local ingredients. No, we've got a huge amount of talent in South Africa and in Cape Town itself.
And with a much more improved customer experience, what's the typical vibe and style offered at these food halls?
Well, the most important thing is when you arrive, you don't always know what you want to eat. So we want you to arrive and be able to walk around the space and look at the different cuisines, whether we're serving Italian, sushi, local, African food, there's coffee, there's ice cream. So it's more of an inviting space. And then once you get there, you can decide what you want to eat. It is service from the counter. So that's obviously makes it a less intimidating space. You don't always know if you're going to eat immediately, so you can meet people for a drink. Families can meet. We want it to be a community feeling as opposed to a restaurant feeling or a takeaway feeling. But obviously the food is core to it and the quality of it.
And now that it's currently in Cape Town, any plans to introduce it to the other parts of the country?
Well, we're going to open in April, May 2022 in Cavendish, which is the town square of the southern suburbs. There's a huge amount of customers and shoppers in the area. So that's our initial project. But we are looking to introduce it into other parts of the country. And I guess that's really what we're saying is that South Africa, we're building a homegrown chefs. But we want to move it to the rest of South Africa and obviously try and introduce it internationally as well.
Yeah.
I think there's a definite market for it.
Yeah, quickly tell us about Chefs, which is a curated range of global cuisines. What do you guys offer?
So, when you walk into the space, you'll have anything. Food is a unique experience. So when you arrive in the morning, it's not obviously looking for a steak. So there's coffees, there's pastries, there's breakfast. And as the day goes on, those experiences change. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you might want a fresher salad. So we have salads. We have an Italian section. We have pizzas. We have pastas. We have an Asian section. We have a Mexican. So because we're chef driven, we're able to curate the cuisine and the style of food over the day, over the week, and over the experience and the occasion. But we're also going to highlight our local industry. We've got amazing wines and liquor, homegrown talent, so we'll offer that as well. And then within the space, you have different zones where there's different seating. There's different occasions that you can hang out in the space through the day.
When is it launching again? Just take us through what we can expect
to May
from Chefs Foodhall.
Yeah, in Cavendish Square, Cape Town.
Okay, Campbell, lovely chatting to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. We just spoke to Campbell Stevenson, the managing director and co-founder of Chefs Foodhall, launching in South Africa in April next year. Well, this is one of the biggest fast casual dining trends of the last decade.